No, no, yeah, no, 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 yeah, no, no, yeah,
Hey everybody, welcome back to the Trey and Ziggy Show. I'm Ziggy,
I'm Trey.
and this is our episode about Afrofuturism.
AI, AI technology.
So you can use ChatGPT and other softwares. I would say a lot of different softwares have an AI plugin or app in there somewhere.
Yeah,
Like Canva, you can create your own images and come up with different things you need for the things you're designing. Um, where else have I seen it? I've seen AI in Grammarly.
yeah.
Grammarly is, it's you can basically use AI for Grammarly to come up with like a starter paragraph or something for what you're writing. And there's all kinds of things just to help you brainstorm if you need to write articles. And there's also technology to where they will just create a whole script for you. They'll create full on scripts, full on articles for you. So my question is,
Yeah.
do you think that AI is going to take over the world and leave millions of people jobless?
like some sci-fi film or something like that.
Exactly, because AI can also edit videos now. Like, like all the creative people are like
Uh huh.
on guard.
You know, I think that AI is not gonna actually. I believe that it's not gonna take anybody's job. I think what happens is that it's just gonna add to the creativity that we have nowadays to help people that really can't express the way they really feel about something. AI is there to be that personal assistant that honestly a lot of us don't have when we want to be actually as articulate that we really want to be, but we can't just put the words in the way we want to, and that's just the AI bot that we have nowadays is Snapchat or any other social media
Got you.
you can be on it anytime. I also like the artwork for AI because for people that actually have want to do like they have a like they rap, a rapper, singer, or some type of poet, something that they just want a graphic that they don't have to go out and just pay somebody. It's not the probably the best graphic, but as far as AI has advanced to the point that a graphic that they could actually create is really decent for a profile picture or for an image for like your cover for like an EP, or it doesn't even have to be your main like it's I think it's a good thing that we have AI. I think it's really funny when they have those audios like Drake singing and like Drake
Or
rapping.
SpongeBob,
Us,
SpongeBob singing Summer Walker.
yeah.
Yeah, and that's one of my favorites. I was
Hmm.
like, SpongeBob is singing. But
Really.
there are some things where artists have had to cease and desist some AI things that have gone viral,
Yeah.
and them like covering different songs. Like it's crazy.
But
I think
that? Why are they doing that? Because of AI? Can you explain that?
I think because like once I think they're gonna have to do something like how social media did to credit the artist with now they have the audio, like the actual music streaming audio and crediting the artist so they can still make money off of those streams. I
Yeah.
feel like AI is gonna have to do something like that. They're gonna have to have some kind of license to where because it's good.
But
It
you
gets
have
out of
to
hand.
think about it. This AI is pretty much a parody. It's not like
Yeah,
it's not an actual that they actual song. They Even though it's their words or lyrics,
yeah.
what happens is the AI generates its own sound or whatever that you want it to be like, and it makes it a parody. We have freedom of speech. We can joke about anything. Like even with government, we can joke about that. Only thing we can't say is, we wanted to do something to the president, right?
Yeah.
But what happens is that I feel like for these artists that I think these artists they do work hard and they want to do exactly what they can do to make the most money. But at the end of the day, you can't really go into where you want to get money from these parody accounts. I mean, when we was growing up, all this fast advancing technology with YouTube, we have all these young YouTubers that make songs like parody songs about Drake and about Lil Wayne, and about Gucci Mane, whatever. They never really actually went into that because they generated their own song for that parody. I think they just do it too much, and I feel like they should just let these us humans, us fans, be able to express the way we want to with this art.
Well,
Art is
that's the
what?
thing. I feel like it creates confusion
With
when
who?
there's not a proper licensing for the music. So like
Mm-hmm.
I feel like in Drake's case, a lot of people were like, "Oh, Drake did a cover of blah blah blah," and it was like, "Oh, it's AI." So it was like a lot of confusion on Twitter,
But it's
and so
always
I feel like that's why
but it's always confusing on
it's like
Twitter.
a branding
Even if it's
thing.
not, even if yeah, I get that. But even if like for politics, we have all these verified accounts or whatever. There's some people that actually pay for it. Some people actually have like that gold symbol, the check symbol, to like determine like if it's really like if verified for real. But I think what happens is that people out there are just some people out there just gullible, or they're so easy to believe what they see first instead of actually going into depth and like doing their own little research or whatever.
True.
But for them to be fooled, who fault is that? Like you go research something that you see online, you don't just trust it at at first glance. I don't either. Like even though it's funny, some things are just funny, some things are just something to laugh at. But to be like, well, oh well, some people believe this was actually Drake. Well, they should get money off of this or some way. Like I feel like they just bunch it off of it. Like for example, if a basketball player, they get paid millions of dollars to go dunk. If somebody make a parody of a basketball player dunking, do the basketball player get money off of that now? I get it. Like it is. Some of these artists don't even like they pay other people to make their lyrics. Like why are they so especially some of these
20 people.
yeah, exactly. You look at some of these songs now, like they have 15 producers on it. Just because they did one lyric, one line, like oh, they got credit. I mean, shout out to all the DJs and all the people that finally are getting credit on these. But now it's getting. I feel like you're getting out of hand. But to be like, well, this person make a parody and people are mistaking it for me. I can't. I can't be mad because this person. I can't take blame because this person is gullible for them to just believe what they just see online instead of doing their own research. If you go do your own research
Yeah.
and look at credible resources, you could be like, oh well, that's fake.
I also think that I agree with you because I feel like people should have that kind of freedom, and I feel like it creates a new lane of entertainment
Right,
and like AI entertainment. Like
right.
I feel like that is cool. However, I do think that in cases like that, they should have like some kind of disclaimer, like in the description, like this
But
is
yeah,
AI generated.
but that
Like
I think, but that goes into the social media platform that you're on. Like if you look at Twitter, Twitter has been a little bit better than other resources. Like Instagram a little bit got better, but and Facebook, I think they got better because of the COVID spread information.
oh
And
yeah,
they really tell him,
misinformation.
especially with Twitter, they was like make sure, like especially with I don't even want to say his name, but the previous president
Lord
and all
Voldemort.
his idiot, he was such an idiot. But that they had to make sure you was reading these articles. Like you can't, you can take a horse to the lake, but you can't force it to drink. just some of these people, they you can't like hold these people's hands and be like, oh, you gotta look at this article, make sure it's true. No, they gotta be competent enough to be able to be like
Yeah,
understand what's real, the real, the fake is fake.
yeah. Like you said, and with Twitter, actually, I think a lot of social media does this now, but I think Twitter was one of the first to be like, when you share, like, say if you see something like a headline or something and you try to share it, they're like, oh, you didn't make sure, or do you want to read this article or whatever?
Yeah,
They'll have
that's
a
what. Yeah,
disclaimer. Yeah. I agree with that. I also think that to subject on the subject of AI art,
yeah,
it's funny because at first I was like enamored by how beautiful the AI art was, but then it's like after watching videos, it's
yeah.
so crazy because I had to watch videos. So like some stuff was generated and it would be creepy looking, like people with long necks or super tall.
Mhm.
And some of the videos I was watching, they would be dissecting the videos and kind of well the images, and
Yeah,
they'll be like circling how like one of the bodies have like three arms or like has like some random stuff
yeah.
like why is this like this is not supposed to be there. Like I feel like you're still gonna need an artist to clean that stuff up even if you do generate use AI generated art. I feel like having a human approach to art is always the best option because it's like first of all the conception, like I don't think you
Yeah,
can.
you can't really imitate the actual human soul because a lot
Right,
of people
exactly. You
in
can't
like
capture
in
that,
music you
like,
can't really get
with AI.
that that soul that give it life. You can
Mhm.
try to use previous work to recreate some new project, but if you don't really have that emotion behind it,
Mhm.
it's never gonna compare to the real thing.
Yeah.
And that's why I also feel like that's why AI will never be able to like and like McDonald's or all these big companies, they have all these machines that is really high tech to the point that they could probably run a whole restaurant by themselves. But to understand human humanity,
You ain't gonna get that soul
you're not
food
gonna ever
with
get there. Like
robots.
on the customer service, like understand like, oh, people do make mistakes. AI is one of those machines that just all it's about the numbers, and I feel like for a short time AI could do something, but you go have some malfunctions just because of human error. The human error is so unique because you don't really know what's going to happen. You can get numbers out of the statistics, but at the end of the day, you don't know when somebody's going to make an error. You don't know if a customer, or you don't know if a coworker or your boss going to make an error. It's really random. So for AI to ever try to compete as a like customer service or to like actually compete with a real artist out there, it's gonna be hands down because at the day of to do the art and read the room, AI can't read no room.
Yeah.
They can't understand. Oh, it's these people here from this side of town from this. They're not gonna be able to recognize that, right?
Exactly.
Even
It's
if
like
yeah,
a DJ.
right,
Could
right.
not even imagine having an AI DJ or like an automated DJ. Like you have to have somebody curate that list, even if you have just like the music going
You
on for
can
a while,
yeah,
but
you
you're
can
still gonna
get
need that DJ to come in and be
yeah,
like, oh, it's dead in here.
yeah.
Let me read.
You
They
can
have
do
to read the
yeah, yeah.
room.
You got to read the room, and I feel like I don't care because what AI gonna do is even to read the room, quote air quotes, is to get like read their DNA. Like, oh, this person is like 80% African American, 20% Latino, right? But that person probably never been where Africa was or never been around Atlanta. They probably adopted into a white family. They wouldn't know that.
Right.
And they just will go off of just numbers. And I feel like that's just with everything else. Like even shoot, not even a teacher. I think that would be very places where you have to really be social. Nah, but AI will definitely help out. I feel like any any field of work.
I
Imagine
think
like
it'll increase productivity
yeah,
for sure.
imagine like
Like
doctors
you still have to
that
like
could
check the work.
yeah. Imagine if
So you don't look
doctors
dumb, and if there's like something like that don't make sense, like this isn't this doesn't flow like how a human would flow.
yeah.
You know, you have to still make sure it doesn't sound robotic, or like say if you have writing, like you have to make sure it doesn't have to that it doesn't sound robotic. And he was just like, you have to make sure the message is getting through still
Now
in the clearest way.
now I think what happens is that AI could be detrimental to humanity. Depends on how much we abuse it and how we communicate with each other with AI to a point that where it's not just us talking anymore. Like for example, I saw on TikTok the other day, a lot of people don't like. Well, some people don't like when people have these voiceovers, like the you know how they can change their voice
Oh
when they
yeah,
record, and some people actually miss that genuine voice over other video, like somebody a human actual voice.
true.
Imagine if we get to a point that where every time we even message each other is like, imagine like you know how we have autocorrect.
Yeah.
Imagine like if we have
Autocorrect me.
imagine we have like an AI correct, like every time we type something, it automatically just corrects it to a point that where you can say it like as a scholar from Yale.
Mm.
You won't even know me because I when we met, I was country. I had I'm like he brought us out the you
You
know
grown a lot in your
yeah.
vocabulary, I
But
would
imagine like
say.
imagine we were first just talking online. That's how we did we met online. Imagine I was talking with an AI autocorrect. You would be like,
I'll be like, this is a
hello.
bot.
Exactly. And that would be
This
possibly
is sketchy.
you like you don't sound like what you I thought you was and I feel like that's to be another form of I mean I feel like AI
That was
abuse.
catfish.
Yeah.
It'd be a way to catfish.
I feel like
Which I feel like, oh, like on TikTok, you see those people use a software that transform their face. Like
yeah, to make
it
it
would be
look
like a
younger or
whole man,
something.
or like it would be like a whole man talking, like voice, the look, and all.
Oh
And
yeah.
then they take off like the AI filter and stuff, and it'll be a woman talking.
Mm-hmm.
Like whoa, like you see the transformation. It's so creepy. I'm like
That's why
I feel bad for all the people
right.
who are like trying to find someone online.
Well, but then
And if people try to do that, that's a different level of catfish.
but
I'm
online,
gonna start watching the show again.
I
Maybe
feel like online is a lot of red flags. Data online is a lot of you can tell when somebody's not being who they are
right.
because me personally, we have FaceTime. FaceTime doesn't have all that high tech filters stuff like that. So, and we also have all other type of video chat options to the point that where the first time we even talk could be on video chat.
Yeah.
And, and if you are enough that like old enough to actually have a car, y'all meet up. If you text her, I'll call her. I don't want to be one of those podcasts about relationships. But if you text a caller, it's been 2 weeks and y'all haven't seen each other, I'm like, that's a huge red flag to me. Like, especially if you like 25 and up, huge red flag. Like, if you 21, 22, struggling, you still staying with your parents, hey, more power to you. But, and when you down out, what I'm saying? Inflation's hit hard. So I understand that, but I'm just saying, like, after 25, I'm like, I mean, majority of the people, you should have your stuff together, a vehicle or some type of transportation, and just
life does hit.
yeah,
Life can hit hard, but
yep.
it's like you should be at a certain point as far as like communication goes.
Like
have some necessary adult skills.
If somebody, yeah, exactly. So
people should question like, what kind of person is this?
Right.
Like, is this a person? Is this an adult that I'm talking to? Like,
mm-hmm. Like,
yeah.
So like AI AI can help humanity, but everything can, that it can help can also be something that can hurt us. You know,
Well, I want to move over to the idea of futurism, specifically Afrofuturism, which I love the concept of Afrofuturism. I'm gonna give the definition for people who don't know what it actually is.
right?
Definition is a cultural aesthetic philosophy of science and history that explores the intersection of the African diaspora culture with science and technology. Now, I feel like it's been coming into play even more, especially like even after the pandemic. But one of the first people,
Yeah.
I would say some of the first people that started was Janelle Monae.
Uh-huh.
I feel like she was one of the leading people, like with her, even with her first project,
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
Archangelus. Um, just like in a way, she would design her covers, or the way she would even have her videos would always be something like, oh, or like the Electric Lady album.
Yeah,
Oh my god,
I love it.
I loved it. And then the skits were um like a DJ, like a radio DJ, but it was like I'm playing whatever.
Yeah.
And we were talking about droids versus like whoever the opera is. I don't know. It would just be, I don't know, it would be so cool. I feel like with Black Panther,
Uh-huh.
like you see that even more. I feel like it kind of went more mainstream with Black Panther because it was just like the technology shown. It's just like, oh my gosh, it's so cool. It's like it merges culture with like technology in the most seamless way. Like
Yeah.
I don't feel like nobody can touch the Black Panther movies.
Uh,
Like you can't touch it.
I
It's
think
like it's like Wakanda is like in
I
it's
think
like a
what
whole world of its own.
I think what happens is that
With Marvel,
I feel like it's that
universe.
you relate
Well,
to Black Panther more than other individuals in this world. I think, like for like you're African American, so a part of that movie is about you, right? But however, other people probably take on other Marvel movies, MCU movies, as in like as in like they're they're being shown on the scene on the screen to where that like their representation. So I think that technology in Africa has always been advanced since like long time ago, like from the Egypt pyramids, right? A lot of people inside, like I get what you said, like making it mainstream with the the African science. But what I'm trying to say is that in the science world in general, like Africa is like peak as in science. Like people feel like the pyramids was built with advanced tools,
right.
and what happens is that like we started like the everything we know as an education came from Africa. We learned all that from Africa. It was passed from down from generation to generation from Africa. It went through all the other countries. So, so Africa has been very advanced. Now with the MCU with the Black Panther and it takes it and pushes it to the point that like it's like way advanced, but in reality, it's still like right now, like it could be a hidden village down there in Africa. Africa is huge. When I say how, and then on top of that,
Yeah.
like Africa is so diverse to the point that like I don't know, the earth, water, the oceans has only been discovered 13% of the ocean, right? And like in Australia doesn't even hold probably like 10% of population, but even on that continent, right, country, the people only live on the outside. They don't
Yeah.
go into the middle of Australia. We don't know what, and the species are still
Disappeared. Never come
discovered. There's only,
back.
and you know, so crazy in Australia. There's only on the outskirts of Australia, in the dead center, there's people that actually live there, but they're like scientists to like do to do like research. But I'm talking about their species still getting discovered. Now take that and put that in perspective of Africa, the continent of Africa, and how much that could be discovered there, and that's probably hasn't still been discovered there.
Right.
Right? That's a different perspective. Like how many countries you can actually fit in Africa. Right? You could probably fit all the countries besides Russia and what, China together. So I should say that if we could, that's why people go back to the motherland to actually get the information. You can't stay into your box or wherever you stay at right now. That
Yeah.
it doesn't do you, like you could do as much research as possible. Like I get it. Like some people go to HBCUs to get all that knowledge, but to go back and actually like be there and get, like one of my mentors, like at my job, he's going there this summer. My house.
One day we will.
Yeah.
But I feel like there's so many places in Africa that I want to visit. Um, I feel like a part of that is like people trying to go back to their roots and like feel that sense of like I feel like it's
Yeah.
a different feeling. I forgot what the book was called, but Maya Angelou, when she was with the Accra or Accra, Ghana,
Mm-hmm.
and it's like an experience you feel when you walk, when you step foot on the land, when you see people just like you. And there's like like Iman Orji, and she's a Nigerian American comedian.
Yeah.
And at the end of that special that Netflix had with Chris Rock's latest stand-up special, the after show, the comedians were sitting around talking. They were commenting on Chris Rock's joke about how when like the mothers and aunties look at the babies, like when babies are first born, they look behind the ears to see if they have pigment, like how much pigment they have.
Oh,
they
really?
See like how dark the baby's gonna be.
Yeah.
And
I didn't know that.
oh yeah, and that would be happening. I feel like people do that list. That's kind of toxic, but um,
But why was that? Why would that be a problem? Like, why would that? Why would it?
It's
Well,
like a color thing. Like, oh, you gonna be light skin, you gonna be dark skin. It's kind of like already having that preconceived division. Like, you're already making it. It's already divisive to have like those kinds of actions or like commenting on that like that. But Iman Urji was saying that he was like, well, we don't do it in Nigeria because we just know you're gonna be black. Like,
oh yeah,
just, yeah,
yeah,
it's already up. And so it's like kind of like when people go back to Africa, it's like, or when people go to Africa, you can feel your ancestry, even if you don't know if you're from that region. It's just like it just feels like home because it's like you're not fighting to just be like people. People are gonna. They're probably gonna look at you like, oh, you probably a foreigner because if they hear you speak or if you dress like a certain way. But it's like
Laha
different sense.
Laha said that.
Like, oh, why are you living on this earth?
Yeah, Laha.
Like,
yeah, what I'm trying to say is that Lahas was what Lahas was talking about. Like when he went down there to just be there to take in all of Africa. He said that the people would raise the prices, like try to upcharge you, whatever, because they know you're not from there. But what he did was he learned the language, the region he was going to. And then so he was like, nah. And he started talking their language. I forgot the language was. And then he got like a price that was, they tried to sell him $40 or $10. So yeah, they do look at you, be like, "Hey, yeah, you not
And you
from
know,
over
it's
here?"
like it's just not just in Africa, but it's like you go to like India,
Oh
like
yeah,
you
that.
know, so other
Ooh,
places,
it's ooh,
like the
yeah,
markets where you can haggle and stuff. It's like I would salute him for that because that's the smartest way to explore a new area.
yeah.
You know, you learn the language and actually try to speak the language, they're gonna have more respect for you that you're trying. And like, oh,
Mm-hmm.
not only they won't be able to get over on you as much, but they'll also be like, oh, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
But I feel like another thing about Afrofuturism is like artists like Dawn Richard. She's been doing it. Dawn Richard used to be in Danny Kane, the Dirty Money group of Diddy.
Uh.
She's an independent artist now,
Yeah.
and in all her like, if you go on YouTube and look at her performances and stuff, like her outfits, and even though she's originally from New Orleans, so I feel
Mm-hmm.
like that's special in that like the soul she brings to her music, but also like the creative factor. Like she's even stated, and this is so true. Like I think she was on an interview with the Friend Zone podcast
Yeah.
because that was like one of the artists that they love and follow and they're fans of,
Mm-hmm.
and they have like friendship with her. Um, but she was talking about how like the gaming industry is at the forefront of technology advancement because that's like the industry where it like comes through like whether it's people coding or animating or whatever, and they're like using this new software and technology which you can see now, you can see it now, like that's so true because you can see it through the new Spider-Man movie and how much like technology they had to use, like even in animation, or even if they had to like go back to the basics and have a character like hand drawn. Like it's just like so many. I feel like you can see the different forms of animation and like how it's evolved in that one movie, which is so great. And
Yeah.
I feel like even a Spider-Man, like it's a Spider-Man movie, but it's like okay, it's like Afrofuturism or just futurism in general, and it's just like yeah, I feel like it's so amazing, and I love how Marvel is attacking like the idea of the multiverse, and I haven't like studied all that stuff yet.
Mhm.
I feel like it's just like it opens your mind to like what could be, what is,
About what with AI or with what the multiverse?
the multiverse because
Are we
the
turning into the
multiverse.
multiverse now? I could talk about this forever.
we, I mean,
Hey,
we could, but it's just like I'm just mentioning it because I feel like it has some elements in the movie.
what,
Like I feel like
how
there's
think?
confusion.
Wait, hold on. Let me make sure I understand what you said. You said that AI is responsible, be able to see all this technology investment for like how we see these movies, like how good their movies are. Is that what you said?
I feel like well, I'm not on the topic of AI. It's more on the topic of futurism, the idea of
Future,
futurism,
but
Afrofuturism.
like that. But this stuff been around since the '60s.
I know, but I'm just saying like how popular it's become
But no, okay,
as far as
yeah,
like it
well,
going like mainstream.
but it's been mainstream.
Yeah,
Like this is from comics that's been very
yeah, you're right.
popular. It's high sellers. It's if you're saying, well, I feel like it's popular into your light right now, but watching the MCU, but like people like Neil, like the scientist, he been talking about the multiverse for the longest. So it's like
Yeah,
in science world, it's probably been like the hot topic,
yeah,
but to actually like in the movie industry is now it's very popular, but it wouldn't even be what it is now if it wasn't from like previous artwork with Blade and early Spider Man, and like I feel like well, who really pioneered off the Fast and Furious, you know, that I think they started the massive expansion of, like, if you really think about it, all right? No, like, think about, okay, so Fast and Furious probably the first one, they debuted 1999. Blade, when did Blade debut? Probably like a 2002. I promise you. Let me see.
Oh, the first one was 98. Blade 2 was 2002.
So okay, so Blade.
Blade Trinity was 2004.
Okay, so who came out first? Was it the Fast and Furious? What watched Fast and Furious 2002?
Fast and Furious, it came out a year before. They came out later. They came out in 2001.
Wow. Okay, so they came out at the same time, right? But I feel like what Blade, but they wasn't like dead at that time. They was like, what we need to pop out a good movie and a good, at a good time with the best actor, and Wesley Snipes was at the time. And I feel like what happened was they started turning with Blade, but not everybody was watching Blade. I was like, when Too Fast, Too Furious dropped, it took off, and that was started off this big movie deal where all these people have their own universe. Like, think of the Matrix; they have their own universe, but it's just a trilogy. Like, but a lot of people was into like the Matrix at the time, right? But with the technology now, with the investment in science that's straight from Africa, it all correlates back there. Everything correlates back there with science advancements all around the world. You know, like we always been trying to infiltrate Africa because we know all the science, all the America advanced science is from there.
A wealth of resources.
Yeah.
And I feel like a lot of countries do fight off of that. Like lithium was a big ethical issue with the mining of those materials.
Oh yeah.
Corrupt, the people trying to make money off
it.
Like,
that's why there's a lot of corruption over there too. It's so much to fight over. So much to fight over. And like America been trying to cover up and be like, oh no, there's so much poor people over there. Don't worry about Africa. And while they over here trying to like infiltrate like Africa, trying to get all the good stuff like shoes. A lot of jewelry is from Africa. Like from what's her name? The Queen Elizabeth. All her jewelry, like all this stuff, everything, India, yeah. But all these like areas where it's close to Africa, because you realize all the places close to Africa still reap a lot of benefits. Like, think about it, compared to like Iraq and all that stuff. America, we only have two good resources of oil. Imagine how it is over there close to Africa. How much they have more resources over there. That's a big difference. We're like, and I feel like what happens is that when what's that country that was Pangea, when it was all together. Yeah. The resource was from Africa. Whatever it was formed, all that, those resources was rooted in Africa, and it branched off, right? But the more it branched off, the weaker it got. The resources, the weaker it got, right? We have fossil fuel and all that stuff, but what happens is that to actually get oil out the ground, that's resources. Like to actually like have running like fresh water. Those resources are closer to the equator, closer to Africa. Those continents are close to Africa.
Yeah.
And what happens in America gets a little bit from it, but it's not as much as it is over there. Because we're further away from it, but at the same time, that's how powerful Africa is. That's how it's gonna be able to all those all those humans can inhabit that continent because the resources is crazy, and that's why it's so much corruption, and it's so hard to figure out how to take care of it because it's always somebody that's going to be want to be more powerful just to own all the resources. That's just human nature. Is a you know
Yeah. Well, hope you guys enjoyed our conversation on AI technology and Afrofuturism, where it's going, and our thoughts on it.
we wrap it up. Oh wow, I thought we had well at least one good subject in us, but all right, it's fine with me. Can edit it right here.
That's it.
I want to talk about something. I want to talk about. Let's talk about LeBron James.
Okay,
All right.
we'll leave that for another.
Wow. You know what I'm saying? What about Denver? How you ever feel about Jokic? I might have to start my own podcast. This is too
Oh my
fun.
gosh.
Jokic, he doesn't really be excited, right? He likes the game. He don't love the game. LeBron loves the game, and you can see it with what. What? I can't talk about Jokic winning the championship, giving him his roses while he's alive. Shout out to Jokic. Shout out to the Denver Nuggets. But man, my Lakers, man, and my Rockets. My Rockets, they go doing good. Okay, we can end it now. Hit me up, I want to talk about. Shout out to King Trey Sports at King Trey Sports. Follow me if you made it this for you, and if you made it this far, if we have a conversation, comment. Viggy and Trey. Cover that at the bottom. All right. See who actually listened all the way through. All right. All right. Well,
y'all, thanks for tuning in.
Thanks for tuning in.
We hope you tune in next week.